Okay, so this is my breakdown of the DBD World Cup and the pig performance that I feel like deserves a lot of discussion. As someone who has a lot of experience on pig, or any pig main would tell you, she's probably one of the most underrated killers in the entire game. And it's frustrating with tournaments like this, where so rarely do you see her being played. This is one of the few opportunities we had to really break the notion that she's this terrible killer. And the amount of people that to this day call her an M1 killer is kind of shocking, when she has one of the most underrated kits in the entire game. Everyone agrees that her slowdown is effective, but few people really understand the benefit she gets from that. She's one of the few killers that can focus entirely on chasing and tracking. Matches like this are a great example of highlighting the problem, where I think just dumping a bunch of gen regression on pig is a really big sign of you not knowing what you're doing. It's a red flag for me right off the bat. So on the survivors, you see standard stuff. They're going to be under some restrictions because of the tournament, but overall you see the things that you would see in like non-meta tournaments, right? So a little bit of windows, some fixated here and there, iron will. Over to the pig. Right off the bat, taking 3 hex perks on a killer whose main power is essentially RNG is one of the worst things I think you could do on pig. I understand the idea of doubling down on the slowdown, but none of that matters if you can't put people on the ground. It's really essential to know the difference, and good pigs will know that. That the built-in slowdown and the pressure that she can create with good chases is way more effective than just loading a bunch of gen regression and never actually being able to use it. It's surprising. You would think someone who has a build like this would have add-ons to match it, more slowdown. But they decided to go with dashing add-ons, which I think is the strongest combo that pig has right now. Yet they don't utilize it in almost any way, shape, or form throughout this match. So this is no disrespect to the player. I strictly want to talk about pig and pig mechanics and pig fundamentals, the thought process behind good pig play and what you should look out for. So this is basically, again, not to diss him, just to instruct and educate any other pig players who want to learn from this, because this was incredibly frustrating as someone who knows the potential of pig, and this player in this case, I don't feel like they had enough experience on pig to show that. And again, they're facing good players. It's the decision making that you can really analyze when it comes to this match. So here we go. So crouching from the very beginning, good. Tired of people acting like just the fact that you go a little bit slower means you shouldn't use your power. Midwich is a strong map for almost any killer, especially stealth, but the problem is these big hallways. So right off the bat, you don't have whispers, you don't have lethal pursuer, you don't have any true information to be able to pinpoint the location. I understand he maybe wants to go this direction to listen out for the totem that's right there. Maybe he can actually hear and see if someone's on it. But you don't want to just expose yourself in the hallways right off the bat. It's a big mistake. So taking a second to listen and see if you hear someone coming, or even peek around the corner, or at the very least go into the room so you're not in the middle of the hallway. All these things could have helped him get a little bit closer to the survivor. Start the chase from a more efficient position. Pig's greatest strength is always having access to her stealth, so you can get the first hit for free if you play correctly. But if you do this, you're going to have a very awkward chase most of the time. Like, look at that. Not even sure if I'd want to chase this. But we're in mid-widge, so let's see. Survivor does a smart thing, pre-drops, waits to see what position the pig's in. And we are in M1 mode, holding that W. Chasing, 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 chasing. Now you're at that point at a pig where if you understand pig and she has no corrupt, there's no deadlock, not even merciless to back her ass up. She's got ruin, meaning that you physically need to be there to push them off the gens. She's not Wraith, she's not Nurse, she's not someone who can just zip over there real quick. So I do not think pig is good with ruin. The only benefit to ruin is avoiding players 99ing gens. That's only a factor if you have a lot of pressure and you have people who actually have active traps or non-active traps even. But when you're this early into the match, ruin is just worthless because they are cranking away on gens, you can see on the left here, and you're just getting juiced like completely by this Kate. So at this point in the chase, you have to understand as a pick player that you need to either get this hit and get a pallet and move on and try to make use of your ruin and prevent those gens from going down. Because it's very unlikely she's going to get 2 health states within the next like 10 seconds, right? So as the pig enters this room, they need to enter that with this mentality. But they decide to do this instead. Good. Good stuff. Have her zone. You got the ambush. And all this is where you need to know to move on. You need to know in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. They're doing gens. Why did you bring Ruin if you don't want to push them off it? I understand he might think it's a bit too late, but again, it's a calculation you have to make, and I think he should have made it prior to even going into that room. It's a good hit, but he's gambling here. Gambling on the fact that he'll probably lose maybe one gen, which again is a terrible situation because if he doesn't down them in the next few seconds, you're not going to be able to have an active trap. The true slowdown comes from an active trap because you know 100% that they're not on gens. They can't really take time to do unhooks unless they're really risking their life, where they have so much more control if it's like basically inactivated. So getting that timing down as a pig is essential. That's why it's worth the risk of not taking corrupt sometimes, because you want them to do gens. You want that first gen to pop right after you get the head trap on, so you have that proper pressure. But he's not going to be able to do that thanks to this pallet. A smart player will pre-drop that. And again, good pick player should know, gotta leave at this point. But he is determined to kill this fucking Kate. Now here is where it gets frustrating. Ugh, what are you doing? Anyone who's ever been in this room knows how shit this pallet is. Take your time, and there's usually options you can get even with M1. But as a pig, if you have the opportunity to zone them on the side, over here, or take control of the pallet, you pretty much get a free hit. You leave them with no choice or a 50-50. And an experienced pig is going to land that hit most of the time. Like even 80% of the time, I would say. But when you rush in like this, you leave the control in their hands. They're looking. She's aware. She's not chasing. She's not just running with a chicken cut. She's not running like a chicken with her head cut off. She's paying attention. So you have to pay attention to that. And instead, he risks it all. And does it again. The second one is even worse. I can forgive the first one. But the second one here, pig has control of the pallet. Control of the pallet in a short loop. Meaning, if she crouches here, there's pretty much nothing the survivor can do. The only hope is that the pig falls in that hole, and she can still just zone her into the way where, you know, there's plenty of options. And the biggest thing here is when you have the add-ons that I mentioned at the beginning, you don't even really have to finesse this. You can just crouch and run her down with raw speed. But instead, we get hold. Again, you know the options here. There's one pallet. You want to learn from those few mistakes that she made there. All you need to do is crouch on the right here and force it to be a 50-50, where you're going to get the pallet drop, but a much better chance of getting the hit. Here, she can see your red light. I just don't understand why she's playing so one-dimensionally. It just feels like someone who's not comfortable with the ambush. And again, tries it. So, yeah, that pallet stun was some bullshit. But the tactics, again, they should be punished. You can't just keep trying to M1. You are not an M1 killer. You need to use your power. And the only reason I could think of that she wouldn't use it here is just she's straight up not comfortable with it. Now this is probably one of the most terrible mistakes made in the entire match. Like I mentioned before, it's known as the J-Tech, to be specific. But what it really is just zoning in the correct positions. And any experienced pig player will know that's their best option. Rather than running head into the pallet, you cut around to the left side, over here. Or you cut around to the right side, preferably this side, whichever side you have more space to zip around. So preferably this side right now. And you basically force them into a 50-50. You can use your speed to fake, show them your red light on one side, and then come around on the other side. Or even just use the raw speed if you see them make a mistake. But either way, it's a better option than just going right into the pallet. She does the worst of all of those. Goes right in, crouches, doesn't even hide her body or her red light, and tries to fake her like a moron. This is terrible. This is someone who doesn't play pig. I'm sorry. We can clearly see you there. We can still see your red stain as you come out. You can see it, right? The red stain is appearing. The whole point of the fake is if you show the red stain over here, they know that they have a split second to react. So you show the red stain, and then you fake around and zip to this side, because it gives them very, very little time to react, especially with your speed. And especially if they're stuck in the animation of dropping the pallet, there's almost nothing they can do. Instead, he goes right forward. That's just stupid, my dude. Come on now. That's just bad play. Shame on you, Piggy. Shit like that is going to make people continue to think Pig is crap when the Pig has so many options there. But you need to understand this as a Pig player. We hop into the room. One pallet. We've all been here. Zones are. Zones are self, actually. I don't even want to talk about this one. Absolutely no way you're going to make that distance. So one of the big part of the reasons you have to know when to ambush and when to just crouch and kind of like, you know, a lot of people call it the vibe check. I've heard Drub say that in his video. When you're looping a pig and the pig crouches, you reveal what type of player you are. Are you going to try to outplay the ambush? Are you going to stick at the pallet? Are you going to pre-drop? Or are you going to run for the hills and hold W, knowing that the 50-50 isn't something that you want to stick around for? So that's what this pig should have been able to see. You got to chill out, see exactly what they're going to do, and just stand back up sometimes. Instead, he goes for the Hail Mary ambush. Which is just, where's the mind game there? You're giving her more space. Holy fuck, this goes forever. Okay. Damn. Okay, yeah. This. What are you doing, Picky? Okay, she's lost at this point. She's probably frustrated, a bit flustered. We've all been at this window. We know the options. It's very difficult to get an outplay. Like, you know, Deathslinger can do a lot of things here. Love me some Pyramid Head plays here. But as a pig, they really have to make a big mistake for you to land an ambush to this degree. So the best thing is to just to get them to vault 3 times, block the window, and continue the chase. Yep. Doesn't feel like they're aware of that strategy, because it's a good way to at least keep them in the one room. Because now the fact that she didn't get the window blocked means that this Kate not only has the pallet, but still has the window as an option for escape. But that wouldn't matter if this pig really truly understood the potential in this kit. Because like I said earlier, when you have control of the pallet as pig, you force them into a horrible position. Some call it a 50-50 because it really is, but a good pig knows that it's a 100% play at a pallet like this, especially with that ambush, with the ambush add-ons that this pig has. So if I haven't mentioned it, actually I did forget to mention, so I'll clarify. The 2 add-ons make it so the ambush charges faster and goes faster. So when you use them together, you're just zipping around at lightning speed, and it's very, very difficult for survivors to react to it. So you can fake to the left, and the second they move, you can go to the right and just cut them off, or just use the raw speed to run them down. But this fucking pig, it constantly doesn't understand that and just leaves the pallets. Sorry if I'm going too big into detail, but I really want people to learn about this. It's such an important concept. She's one of the strongest anti-loop killers, depending on the loop. And you can't ignore it when you get free ones like this. What the fuck was that? What? One more time. Sit at home. Crouch and ambush. What was she gonna do? Instead, he runs around like he doesn't have a power. Still chasing like he doesn't have a power. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts so much. And then he realizes, you know what? I do have a fucking power. Let's try this. And he finally, like, almost 4 gens into the match, he realizes that you need to use your brain on Pig. And again, we're discussing Pig mechanics. I'm sure he's a good dude. No disrespect. But it shouldn't take you this long to really try to use your brain. That's the key to stealth killers. Goes in. Crouches. Zones. And strictly. You know what? I take some of that back. Because that wasn't even a mind game. That was him finally just using his power. And since he had proper add-ons, he was able to make it in time. Without those add-ons, this Kate might have been able to fake him there. Check this out. Yeah, to be fair, she panicked as well, so it wasn't fully necessary. But the add-ons is a big part of this, him making this. Look at the speed. Without the add-ons, he might not have made that. So again, Pig is strong. But I'm not even giving him credit for that. I'm giving Pig the credit, not the player. So thank God we have a trap on, because this match is fucking screwed. One gen left. 1.5. Or no, sorry. What is that? We have half a gen. So, yeah, you need some survivor mistakes, and you need perfect play and instincts from the Pig. It's the only way you come back from something like this. So, get the chase on the Jake. Cut him off. Free hit. Good stuff. He does not have any tracking, and there's no guarantee of finding someone else cutting off. So, oh, no, he finds the Kate. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Here we go. Ambush add-ons, it feels like. You must have ambushed or crouched around here and then zipped in to be able to beat her to the pallet. So that is the big thing Pig can do now, too. If you run in like an M1 maniac, then she's going to beat you to the pallet. But if you know when to crouch and actually utilize the speed, you can usually beat her to pallets in some degree. And if it's a short loop, you can fake around. There's a lot of potential, but you have to have the confidence. Look at the difference now that he's using the ambush. Imagine he had that confidence in the first like 20 minutes, or sorry, the first 20 seconds of the chase. It would have cut down so many of our options. So 2 hooks on the Kate. Kate's unhooked, and now you got to interrupt these gens and try to create as much pressure as you possibly can. It's waiting, and here it is. Using the power. See the difference? It's the big thing that people complain. Oh, Jesus. One of the big things that people complain about with Pig is the fact that she has to be slowed down to use her stealth. Big fucking deal. She has free stealth in her kit that she has access to at all times. No cooldown, no nothing. No being looked at by a Meg around the corner and losing your power for 17 seconds or whatever it is. She has full access to it. So you got to utilize it because you can get free things like that. Now, one of the things you want to do at a window or a drop down point like this is actually utilize the fact that your ambush has no stagger effect. Because when killers drop down off a big height, they're going to have that little stagger effect. That's why balanced landing is so effective for survivors. You can cut down on that by using your ambush. And the biggest thing you can do is charging it in midair. And if the Pig did that here, probably would have had a better chance of catching the Jake. Anything to save you time. Crouch, charge it while you're falling, and then the second you hit the floor, you're at max speed up this Jake's ass. But again, when you go back to M1 mode, you're going to waste a few more seconds here. Every second counts. Every second counts. Oh my god. Speaking of every second counting, take a look at this. Literally seconds away from the gen popping. Meaning that had they did the ambush and played correctly, we would have got the down immediately, because Pig is an M2 killer if you play it properly. But if you depend on your M1 like she has no power, you're going to waste a few seconds every chase throughout the match. And at a time like this, where literally you're running out of you have a half a second left, my dude. You got to play efficiently. And then you could have put the trap down and had an active trap in the end game, which is a game changer. It's better than no way out to some degree. But instead, doesn't ambush, doesn't even remember to put the trap on. This is inexperience. That's the only thing I could say. Boom. Devour Hope coming in to save the day. And another situation of me giving credit to the power of the perk rather than the player. Because, again, you random down. There's no mind games. It's just M1. So, yes, Devour is strong. And, yes, the Pig's Ambush add-ons are strong when you use them. So one of the reasons Pig is so good at using Devour is, again, the stealth, having access to it at all times, and you force the players into an uncomfortable position of, you know, not knowing if you're there and being able to get the unhook easily, or wasting the time to go and look for the hex. We have the Kate with an active trap. To be honest, I'm not sure why he didn't slug that Kate. Goes back for it. I guess he was just checking. So, yeah, I'm reviewing this thing. I've watched this match like probably 3 or 4 times. And even now, did he get any value out of Grim Embrace that was like noticeable within this match? Like none? I forgot he had that perk on. This is why you need efficient perks. Pig is about efficiency. Repeat after me. Efficiency, people. Imagine he had something as simple as Brutal Strength. One of the most humble, innocent perks in the game. You have to clear pallets and make sure that you can get your freebies in the end game. You can't be getting cucked by a pallet this late in the game. You need this bitch down. If I remember correctly, she's Death Hook. I think. Either way. But he's scared to he has no room to ambush, and he's scared to really play it freely because the pallet's in the way. So go back to the camp. There's not many options here.
Like a decent result, right? There's nothing preventing our French friends from
going on
an insane chase.
Here we go. I've been here so many times. The pressure, like cockroaches. They're just... The vultures, they're swarming. What do you do?
Oh my god, every angle covered. I am feeling stressed.
I kind of missed the grabbing off a hook. But at the same time, you know, I think it's fair for the game to remove that. But damn, what do you do in situations like this as a pig? You know?
Oh, that is so strong.
You have to...
It's over.
Yeah. You gotta deal with them in the first 5 minutes of the match. You can't get locked into a situation like this. It's very hard for Pig to come back from.
Anyway, right?
No matter how good you are.
Which means he's got perfect.
Yeah, no,
options.
that's
this is Jake
well played.
running.
Well played. Well played. Not much they could do. The door's so close nearby. The survivors
Really
did it
not.
perfectly.
Really, really not, man. Really.
Absolutely routed. No kills. Can't even remember how many hooks. Like 5. And the biggest thing for me, like, you know, it's not all about winning and losing, whatever. They're good survivors. It's the performance, man. It's not a performance that makes people want to pick up Pig and be like, oh my god, I see the untapped potential. It's embarrassing for Pig mains because we know he could have done so much better than that. He knows he could have did better than that. And even the next Pig player does mildly better. Not amazing, but like, no, not mildly, significantly better in terms of utilizing, you know, the kits and understanding the potential. And anytime you see Pig in tournament play is a great opportunity to fix her reputation, which just very, very, very rarely happens. And I don't want to see this be the main representation for high-level Pig. Okay. So, this is a match I played last week or a few days ago. This, again... right off the bat, I know you come off like a prick anytime you're trying to compare your gameplay to someone else's especially in DBD. But I think there's a lot you can take from this comparison in terms of the thought process behind good Pig play, because obviously he's facing better players. There's way more pressure. There's way more on the line, but there's still a lot you can compare. And why I think this is fair to compare is he's on Midwich, which is arguably Pig's strongest map, one of the strongest killer maps, period. And he's got a fantastically strong build. Not good for Pig, in my opinion, but a meta build. A fundamentally strong build that's good on any killer if you play correctly. He just didn't at that point. In this situation, I have no gen regression because Pig is an amazing killer that doesn't need it if you know how to use your traps correctly. If you know how to use your traps correctly and create pressure through good chases and good use of her stealth. So the reason I think this match is cool to compare is it's similar. I get absolutely juiced by this Sable, just annihilated, and a similar start to the other Pig player where we have like 2 gens left to work with. And I really think that the difference in the decisions that we both make, there's a lot to learn from for new Pig players. So we'll check it out and see what you think. Okay. So, see the survivors, meaning I have time to break this. I see someone straggling off to the left. Take my time to get a clean cut off with the ambush. Easy first hit. Now, what I like about Amaliers is you can get information up close and information up far. Now that I see her posture, I should have broke off. I should have just accepted the hit and moved on. The same advice I was giving the other Pig. I got greedy thinking I could run her down. Trying to cut her off, nothing. I know the clock is ticking. I got 15-20 seconds to justify this chase. I really think because of the perks I have, I can probably get her here. Try to fake the ambush. She's good. She's patient. I see her. I take my time. This should work. But damn, this wall was thicker than I expected. I didn't think that thing would be there. So again, the thought process behind these attacks are solid. But you can clearly see she's good and the positioning is unfortunate here. Instead of just going right into the pallet. So this is what I was talking about that last player. I know that I can't just run into the pallet, right? Even with enduring, she's paying attention. She's aware. I can try to shift to the left and hit her with an M1. But my best option here is, again, zoning her. As soon as she drops the pallet, cut to the left and try to catch her with the ambush. But she is smart. And remember I was talking about other players in terms of the vibe check. Are they going to stick around? Are they going to try to outplay? Are they going to be smart enough to know that their best option is just to hold W and leave? I go to the left. And I'm faking myself here. She's out. Miles away. I, at this point, accept the fact that I fucked up. But know that, look at this map. I have no information. I have to get this bitch on the floor at this point. So here is me knowing that this big area here, there's no way I'm outplaying that. Not getting around an ambush. I know I have to force this pallet. No time to fuck around. This is what I was referring to about the value of enduring. Either get a hit here and down her, or I get the pallet and I can move back into a position to try to get the outplay. Force the trade, move on. Horrible positioning, but I still go for it. Try to zone her closer to the pallet to get the break. So at least now I'm not in that awkward position, because if I went for that ambush, I'd have nothing. If I zone her in and I get her closer to the break, I can at least listen and try to track and see where she is. And it works. Thank Christ. Get the trap on, please. But again, at what cost though? No deadlock, no corrupt. I got no backup here. So I know I'm probably losing several gens. There's one. There's two. Ouch. Ow, there's three. Okay. One hook, one trap, 2 gens left, big ass map, no gen regression. This is when you show your skill on the killer. Because Zanshin, from what I remember, doesn't give me too much value. Lethal is already gone. It's pretty much me rolling with enduring and I'm all ears, trying to just run these motherfuckers down. But this is where it comes down to experience, knowing the killer, not depending on perks and like hoping my Devour will get me a win. This Fang needs to fucking die. I can't have another chase like the last one. So just I want you to pay attention to the difference in chase quality and the decision making. Again, these players aren't as good as the players he was facing, but the decisions I make are fundamentally better than the decisions he made. So you can see for yourself. Get that first injury, go right back to crouch and utilize the fog. People play so stupid when they have the fog. They think they're invisible. They think they're completely invisible. And you get freebies like that. So utilize them when you can. This is me checking. I'm so paranoid. Can't deal with any flashlights. Hook 2. Injured Sable. Active trap. I don't know what I'm doing there. Nervous. I know they unhooked her, so she's probably in this area doing one of her traps. She probably got one box, or I potentially interrupted that. Or no, I'm fucking wrong. She got it off in one attempt. When did she get that off? Damn. Yeah, she got it off, and I interrupted her directly after. Now listen closely. You notice there's no whimpering? Off the record. So the Nia comes in with the body block. I'm all ears. I'm not even paying attention to it because I know exactly what I'm going to do. When you have someone coming in for a body block here, you have a tremendous opportunity to show your experience on a pig. You never want to just give away a free hit. So I take the hit. Take my recovery wipe. Lock in like I'm going to chase her, and then utilize that to use some stealth plays. The Sable thinks I'm chasing the Nia. I want to get this down for free. I don't want another big chase. I listen for the whimpering because I know she doesn't have off the record anymore, so I know for a fact that she's not going to be able to avoid me as long as I catch her off guard, which I do. I could have ambushed here, but I didn't know exactly where she was, so I kept it safe. She's right there. I could have made that distance. There's no pallet or window she would have made it to in time. But even with her making it to a pallet, Pig is a god on short loops, and people need to understand why. As soon as she goes into a loop this short, she's dead. There's just nothing she can do unless my mouse falls off my fucking table. She's dead. Crouch. The moment she's in position to drop the pallet, you crouch, because you can crouch during the animation lock. So now she's stuck in a situation where she's facing a crouching pig. Where does she go? Does she vault? Does she run? She has nowhere to go. You're done. If she vaults, I go to the right. If she runs, I go to the left. You're dead. So, 2 hooks on this Sable. Sable free, but inactive trap. Gotta use your ears. Catch the Nia slip in. Trap first, always. Just in case they're about to pop one, and then kick it. I'm gonna double down on that. I really want this to click in for everyone. To all the pig players of the world, you always prioritize. Look at me for a second. I thought about kicking the gen, and then I remembered, no wait, I'm pig. To ensure that I have a better chance of it being active. Because if I kick this, and then the gen pops as I'm walking back over, I want to fucking flip my keyboard, because that is the key to pig. Active traps, not stupid inactive ones. Hooked. So, 3 traps, 2 gens left, and pretty much a Sable who's on death hook. So in this situation, I want to be able to keep what I have here, right? I don't want to lose this pressure, and I know I have enough pressure to not worry about them just like popping 2 gens at once or something right now. So I take the risk, camp it out. And yep. These girls and their fog vials, I think they're invincible. Another example, and I can't say it enough. I'm all ears is arguably Pig's best perk. It's so fucking fantastic because it's one of the only perks that you can use for tracking and chasing. Like, to show you what I mean is, if she jukes to the right, I know I can cut her off and get a quick ambush. If she jukes to the left, I can cut her off and get a good ambush. If she doubles back to the window, I can wait right here and try to catch her off guard. If she runs away, I know whether or not to break chase, or if I have a good angle to be able to cut her off. So the amount of information I get in this moment from I'm all ears is amazing. Look at this. She doesn't go to the right. She holds forward. Should I go forward? Nope, no room there. I have space to get a little bit closer here while still tracking her. I can't ambush, but I can at least cut her off from a better position. She arguably didn't know where I was into this very moment because when you uncrouch from Pig, you keep the stealth for a few seconds, as you see there. So unless she looked to her left, she might not have even seen me there. Doesn't hear me, doesn't hear me, doesn't hear me, doesn't hear me. Boom. Right now, she's like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Window or pallet, window or pallet. Boom. Another reason I love enduring is when you get a trade like that, it's just maximum efficiency. I get a free pallet and a down. Can't complain. While knowing that I have the 3 traps around the map to not worry about the pressure right now. You don't need a million slowdown perks when you can have pressure at the correct time like this. Look at that. Not to mention, I didn't even mean this. Yeah, I chased the one person there who didn't have a trap. I didn't even mean that. I kind of fuck up in tunnel vision sometimes. But ideally, yeah, this is perfect. Look at this. I'm chasing the one person who doesn't have pressure on them via my traps. So this is maximum efficiency. But I know traps aren't going to last forever. That chick is hooked in a really tough location on the other side of the map. Now is the time to go and try to get more pressure. Maintain the pressure that I have rather than just depending on the traps. Right here. When you have a proper ambush that can make the distance, I know even from here I can interrupt this. Because if I walk up and try to be an M1 maniac like the last guy, she's going to get away. But with proper ambush add-ons, the double greens there, I can do this. Get off my gen! Slice! Now, I've had enough experience in that corner today to know that there's probably a pallet or 2 down, and I'm really warmed up. So I have the confidence to go back and kick this and just know she's zoned. But what I don't know is she has a friend. I hear them. I crouch. What are you doing here, Nia? So, I wasn't expecting that. That's just a gift from the gods. Nia is just shitting her pants in the corner. Caught her slipping. The key is pressure. I can hook this Nia, or I can try to create maximum pressure with the 2 traps that I have left. So we got 2 traps, a proper chase, and a slug. Just not many options for the Fang. For anyone who doubts my love for enduring. Hoo-yah! One more time. And 1. And because she got greedy and vaulted, I get my enduring proc, so I can land the hit. In addition to getting I'm all ears, so I have maximum information to continue the chase. I'm all ears and enduring is the base kit for Pig. Don't ever take them off. Crouch. She has no idea what's going on. Sit the fuck down. 3 people down because I made the decision to focus on pressure. Okay, so I've got 2 hooks nearby. Injured Nia, and Sable is free of her trap, but on death hook. So she's probably pretty anxious at this moment. When you have 2 people hooked like this, you can walk away and lose it all, or you can camp this out knowing that you have enough time, at least with 2 gens left. And you're putting the last 2 survivors in a very difficult situation. There's the last gen. I know this is probably the next one with the highest progress, so the best thing I could do is stay in this area. Guard the gen, guard the 2 hooks. There she is. I catch the Sable. I recognize the white. Fake to the left. Come around to the right, and I catch her slipping. Now, fuck everything. You have to pay attention. This is probably one of my favorite decisions in the map. Or sorry, one of my favorite decisions that I made this game was just understanding the situation. I got someone on hook. I got 2 girls injured. Those bitches are healing. They're fucking trying to regroup. This Sable is like, remember me? Remember how this whole match started? Me getting my ass whooped. This is the time where you get revenge, because I understand that she's on death hook. You gotta remember your stages. This chase is worth committing to. Slice. I'm all ears is the shit. It allows me to make the best decision rather than just chasing her freely. She doesn't see me until it's too late. And the add-ons do the rest of the work. This is why you take a Mori. Even though the hook is literally right there, this is still faster. Eat shit. Sweet, sweet vengeance for that looping at the beginning. So, active trap Fang, dead Sable, 2 healthy. This is where... Whispers! Yeah. This is where I kind of miss Whispers. It's just the efficiency of knowing that I'm wasting my time looking around here. For all the people who says it does nothing, no, it does something. If it saves you 30 seconds of fucking looking around like this, it's worth it. Because, like, I don't know where anyone is right now. I know I got a little 3-gen cooking here, but it's just... With Whispers, I'd probably get an interrupt of a heal or something. I love Nurse's Calling. It's one of my favorite perks, but on Pig, you're crouching around too much. You're not going to be able to search the area, the entire map to be able to know. And then shit like this is like, yeah, just taking this last 20 seconds in terms of efficiency, and this is why I play Whispers. I would replace Zanshin right now with Whispers, 100%. Proper tracking. So again, this may look like I'm slowing myself down, because I technically am. But let's say she cuts back at any of these points. She tries to juke around a corner. She tries to do any funny business or mind games. I have perfect information. I know she's panicking. So even though I'm slower, it's just worth it, because she has no idea where I am. So I mind game myself here, overthinking it. I should have taken in the fact that this bitch is actually panicking. So yeah, I don't need to overthink it. She's just freaking out. And again, Pig is an M2 killer. Say it with me, people. But you gotta use your brain. You can't just get freebies. Okay, Nia's on death hook. I see a Fang. The crow moved. I know I got 1 gen left. I need to make this quick. And if I can't, get the fuck out of there and use your stealth. Just paying attention to the options that you have. Don't get into stupid chases when you can get into a nice sneaky situation and get a free chase. And yeah, that last ambush apparently just broke this Nia. But I was proud of this match. I want to keep it clean. Let's go for the other one. So yeah, that right there makes me want to consider running Fearmonger, because nobody wants to have an extra chase. Like, come on. You and your sprint burst. But I'm a pig, so it doesn't matter. I didn't need Zanshin for that. This was all just experience, for sure. So yeah, that's actually a good example. I can just listen, and I know her best option at this point because of the J-Tech, knowing how to zone. I can listen. I can, whichever side she goes to, I can hit her. So Zanshin didn't do anything, but because she vaulted, I'm all ears does fucking God's work all the time. So yeah, this is my ears, and then this is I'm all ears. Seeing she's looking at me, she's looking behind her, she's looking behind her. Meaning I can get away with a sexy ambush, no problem. And what do we got left? Just a Fanguino. It would have been a good play for her to cut around to the pallet, but she chose to shack. And what I love about shack pig plays is just use your ears, man. It's not like Ghostface where like, oh man, I hope my power is up. I hope it don't get revealed from behind. Just crouch. Take your time. Listen. Had she caught me peeking at that window, it would be all over. But I made it in just in time where she didn't notice. And she's a she's a Fang. Listen to her. Once I know, just based on her crying, that she's kind of zoned, there's no way she can make it to the pallet. Or no, I don't even know if there is a pallet. There's just no way she can make it around in time, based on the add-ons I have and the positioning that I've achieved with the stealth. So take your time with Pig, and this could have been a huge situation where I'm getting looped up at Shack. Or just use your power and you get a free one. An ambush so nasty they had to center my Mori. Yep. Yep. Okay, so the gen should probably be popping by now. But it's all good. One down. Oh no, wait. Oh, funny. I forgot. Nia is a big old baby. We got a baby Nia. To be honest, that ambush would have pissed me off too, but I wouldn't give up. Coward. Yep. Cowards get moried. Boom. And yep. Nope. Nope, you couldn't hide from me. And there it is. Yeah, it's nothing crazy or anything like that, but very similar situation in terms of having like no gens left and having to just maximize efficiency. And you can just see, if you have way more faith and experience in Pig's kit, you can make magic happen. You can get some crazy ambushes. You can get a lot of free chases with your stealth. You can slow the game down to a halt if you time your traps to where they're going to be active. If you give them full control over your power by putting traps on willy-nilly, then things just fall apart. But if you time them correctly and make sure that they're active, then she's just one of the most underrated killers in the game. No cooldowns to work around. No real issues with the RNG anymore after they fixed it. One of the most underrated M2s in the game. And full access to her stealth. In addition to being one of the quietest killers in the whole game. Just fucking silent. Even Ghostface's fat ass is rolling around in the ropes. You can hear him coming sometimes. Sadako's screeching everywhere. Spirit won't shut the fuck up. But Pig is so quiet. You can get away with so much stealth if you use it correctly. And yeah, I just wish more people would have respect for her kit and how powerful she can be. I think comparisons like this are really important, especially for new Pig players. If you want to get the maximum potential out of Pig, you need to play her with respect. You have to believe in her kit. You have to have experience and see what it can do. And the real Pig mains out there, they know she's got the best slowdown in the game. She's got underrated stealth, and she has easily the most underrated anti-loop in the entire game. But if we keep getting performances like this on the big stage, oh man, it's going to be difficult. Because had a Pig popped off in a way that I personally think I popped off in this match, it could have gotten people way more interested in playing Pig. Yeah, there you have it. Thanks for watching. If you want more DBD content, you could check it out on my channel.